It's 8 o'clock now on a Wednesday morning. It's also the 5th day of November 2008, the day after an historic election. And look down at the ice in Rockefeller Center, or Election Plaza. That is the new electoral map of the United States. Some traditionally red states like Virginia, Ohio, Florida, Colorado turned blue in the last 24 hours, or perhaps over the last year or so, just a sign of what has taken place, an overwhelming win in the Electoral College for Barack Obama. And over on the plaza, we got a great group of people out this morning. We don't care if they're from red or blue states. We're just happy that they're joining us here. I'm Matt Lauer, along with Meredith Vieira and Al Roker. And just ahead, we're going to go live to Chicago to find out how Barack Obama celebrated his big win and why his daughters are particularly happy. Not necessarily because he'll be the next president of the United States, because they get a really cool gift as a result.
Yeah, he may be the big dog, but they're getting something a little bit better. And it's not him alone that is developing a new role, taking on a new role. Michelle Obama is as well. But the young family and a sense of style. Some are comparing her to Jackie Kennedy and coming up and look at whether Kamala is returning to the White House as she becomes First Lady.
And a little bit later on, what a terrific night for this country, but very poignant for African Americans nationwide. 50 years after school segregation struck down in America, the Montgomery bus boycott, black men will be leading this country. We're going to see how election night played out last night with African American voters.
All right, let's begin this half hour, though, by checking in with NBC's Lee Cowan. He has covered the Obama campaign from the very beginning, and he can bring us up to date on where things stand this morning. Lee, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Meg. As you said, the history-making aspect of Barack Obama's win last night really can't be underestimated. He's the first black president-elect this country has ever had. His win shattered racial lines. It redrew the electoral map. And he racked up those numbers so fast last night that really John McCain never had a chance to catch up. He began the night a freshman senator from Illinois, native of Hawaii, the son of a white mother and a black father. But when he finally appeared in Chicago's Grant Park, he had a new moniker, President-elect.
It's been a long time coming, but tonight, because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
Hundreds of thousands turned out in Chicago, while across the country, from Los Angeles to the streets of Harlem to college campuses in Atlanta, people spilled out onto the streets to watch.
Above all, I will never forget who this victory truly belongs to. It belongs to you. It belongs to you.
Many were moved to tears. The well-known, like Oprah Winfrey and Jesse Jackson, and the unknown, too.
The whole nation should be celebrating this. It's not just about us, but it's about the people. And he stood for the people, and he connected with us.
Obama's two-year campaign, built on the twin banners of change and hope, set records on a host of levels: fundraising, voter registration, voter turnout, and sheer enthusiasm. A combination his opponent, John McCain, conceded was simply too much to beat.
We fought as hard as we could, and though we fell short, the failure is mine, not yours.
McCain promised all goodwill and earnest in finding ways to come together with the new administration, to bridge differences and find common ground without looking back.
Every candidate makes mistakes, and I'm sure I made my share of them, but I won't spend a moment of the future regretting what might have been.
The new first family was the picture of happiness, especially Mr. Obama's two young daughters, not only for their father's success, but for what comes with it.
Sasha and Malia, I love you both more than you can imagine. And you have earned the new puppy that's coming with us to the White House.
Not since the Kennedy administration have children that young lived in the White House. The only sad part about last night for Barack Obama, of course, was the fact that his grandmother, Matt, didn't live to see it all.
Yeah, that's true, Lee. And then Lee Cowan, by the way, has logged an awful lot of miles over the last couple of years. So, Lee, it's been the end of a long road for you as well. Thanks very much this morning.
Thank you.
And now let's get a check of the rest of the morning's headlines from Ann Curry. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning, Meredith, and all of you this morning. And this morning, a big reaction from around the world to Barack Obama's win as the 44th U.S. president. Russia's president said he hopes the new administration will improve strained ties with Moscow. Afghan leader Hamid Karzai congratulated America for its courage in electing its first black president. Tens of thousands of people poured into the streets in several European capitals, including in Paris, packing restaurants and crowding around big screen TVs this morning to watch Obama claim victory. Last night, President Bush offered his congratulations to President-elect Obama with a phone call from the White House. And 6 in 10 Americans say that the economy was the #1 concern as they headed to the voting booth, according to the exit polls. So what challenges will Barack Obama face to get the economy back on track? Well, CNBC's Trish Regan is at the New York Stock Exchange for us this morning, as she is usually. And Trish, what are investors looking for from this new administration?
Good morning, Ann. Well, there's some hope out there that perhaps this new administration can instill confidence. The economy really comes down to that very intangible factor, confidence. It's what leads people to go out and buy things. It's what leads companies to invest in infrastructure and people. So the idea of change, the hope of change, is leading many people to believe that that might be something that can help. The key is to somehow improve this economy and really strengthen the financial markets right now. Obviously, there's been a lot of concern, and we'll see how it plays out. Jobs is very important. We'll find out more about that on Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Jobs are very important. Trish Regan, thank you so much for that reporting. We've got some other news to tell you about. There's been a tragedy in Mexico City last night when a government jet crashed onto a busy street, setting dozens of cars on fire. The plane was carrying Mexico's Interior Ministry secretary, who was among at least 8 people who were killed in that crash. This morning, the U.S. military says it's investigating claims that an airstrike Monday in southern Afghanistan may have killed civilians. Several Afghan villagers are claiming the strike killed more than 20 children and 10 women who were all attending a wedding. And if you're planning to attend the presidential inauguration in January, you may want to think about booking now. Several online travel sites are already offering package deals for travel, tours, and hotels in Washington, D.C., and attendance is expected to be very, very high. It is now 8:07. Let's go back outside.
Hey, how are you?
Thank
you so much, Ann.
All right, Ann, thanks very much. Let's get a check of the weather from you.
All righty, and again, very warm throughout much of the country. Let's check out our pick city today, Honolulu, Hawaii. KHNL, NBC 8, partly sunny and warm, 85 degrees. Rest of the country, record highs throughout the Great Lakes into the Mississippi River Valley, parts of the plains. We're looking at snow, though, in the western plains. A lot of wet weather, heavy winds in the Pacific Northwest, windy conditions through the Southwest, sunny and 75 in Los Angeles today. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
It's 8:08 now. Good morning to you on this Wednesday. Nice to see more sunshine out there. This is our camera down at Cocoa Walk, looking back out towards Biscayne Bay. Yes, we've had some clouds move into the area first thing this morning, but certainly not as cloudy as it was yesterday morning. Our temperatures are slow to warm up, but we'll get there. 65 in Fort Lauderdale, 66 in Miami. That's refreshing. Inland locations into the mid-60s as well. Down to Key West, 72 there. 68 in Marathon. 81 sunny skies this afternoon. Same for tomorrow. Shower chances Friday and Saturday.
And that's your latest weather.
All right, Al, thanks very much. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the changing face of the U.S. Senate and what that means for you. We'll meet 2 new senators, Jeanne Shaheen from New Hampshire and Kay Hagan from North Carolina. But up next, another woman on her way to Washington. We'll take a look at what kind of First Lady Michelle Obama might be right after this.
And we are back now at 8:12. Barack Obama is not the only one headed to the White House. His glamorous wife, Michelle, and his 2 beautiful young children are obviously going there with him. And with such a young family, will it be a return to Camelot? We asked our national correspondent, Jamie Gangel, to take a look at just what kind of First Lady Michelle Obama could turn out to be. Jamie, good morning.
Good morning, Meredith. Michelle Obama is about to join one of the most exclusive clubs in the world, First Ladies of the United States. And with the honor comes constant scrutiny of everything from clothes to cookies. It's always been that way. They don't get paid, there's no job description, but throughout history, First Ladies have had enormous influence, both in public and behind the scenes.
Doing everything we can. Doing everything we can.
Some have been activists.
I agree with you in your sympathy. or China.
Others, best known for their style.
This room's interesting because it has the most architectural unity of any room in the White House.
Hillary Clinton, the first lawyer, became the first partner with an office in the West Wing. Now it's Michelle Obama's turn.
And I would not be standing here tonight without the unyielding support of my best friend for the last 16 years, the rock of our family, the love of my life, the nation's next First Lady, Michelle Obama.
And she's already making history. Harvard lawyer, mother of 2 young children, African American.
We lived in an apartment on the south side of Chicago where her father worked at the city water plant.
But while this South Side girl likes J. Crew,
You get some good stuff online.
and a good bargain,
I got this dress at this store that it's all black and white stuff.
Black Market.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He'll
be happy to know that, like, this is like a $30 dress.
I am happy
Does
to know
make
that.
happy?
Give me skin for that.
Nice.
she is most often compared to a first lady best known for couture.
Forgive me in saying so. I think you'd be Jackie O. Okay? Because I hope I'm not out of place in saying this. You're a very good-looking lady.
Well, there are some similarities. Only 44, Michelle Obama will be the youngest First Lady since Jackie Kennedy, and has said her top priority will be to make life as normal as possible for her husband and daughters.
We're usually doing picnics and fairs and ice cream parlors and things that are fun for the kids and obviously fun for us, and a lot more fun than listening to Daddy talk.
Fashion editors have also had a field day with side-by-side photos evoking Camelot, and speculation that with his army of celebrity supporters, the White House is about to have an infusion of glamour. But Michelle Obama has made it clear she will have causes: women's issues, national service, and military families.
You know, I think about the responsibility that I will have to bring everyone's voices that I come in contact with to the table.
She does come to the White House with some baggage.
For the first time in my adult life, I am proud of my country.
During the campaign, polls showed high negatives. The result, a makeover to soften her image. And while all First Ladies are in the spotlight, Michelle Obama knows people will be curious about the first African-American first family.
It's going to look differently to have the 2 of them in the White House, but I have a feeling that once they're there, that the young family vibrancy will have even more impact than the color of their skins.
Known for her candor and sense of humor, friends say Michelle Obama understands the scrutiny, but don't expect her to change.
I just try to let people get a sense of the real me as much as possible. So I just try to let go and speak from the heart.
Every First Lady has her own imprint and style, and as she moves her family to Washington, no question, Michelle Obama will make her own mark. Meredith?
No question. Jamie Gangel, thank you very much. And weighing in our First Lady in waiting, 2 keen observers, presidential historian Doris Kearns-Goodwin and Vanity Fair special correspondent Maureen Orth. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Doris, if I can start with you from a historian's point of view, talk to me about the symbolism of Michelle Obama, first Black First Lady.
I think the stirring life story is going to be extraordinary. I mean, in some ways, Barack Obama had a more exotic background, but hers is more typical of many Black families, growing up in a Black neighborhood, parents who really gave her high expectations, winning scholarships, going to Ivy League schools, becoming a lawyer, and now becoming First Lady. For a lot of young girls, that's going to be an extraordinary role model. And for parents to know that if they can give that kind of expectation and discipline to their kids, opportunity
The same
is
thing
there.
might happen for them. You know, people are comparing, you heard in Jamie's piece, some people are comparing her to Jackie O, saying she's going to be the next Jackie O. But in 2004, when she was asked, who does she admire among presidential spouses, she mentioned Hillary Clinton, a lawyer like herself, somebody who had an office in the White House, the West Wing of the White House. Do you see her taking on that kind of a role?
I think she's going to combine being a traditional First Lady, because as she said, the kids, she's going to be mom-in-chief. That's her absolute priority. but just the mere fact of her style and her flair is going to make her reminiscent of Jackie. You know, Hillary Clinton told me at one point that Jackie gave her advice when she first became First Lady, saying, you don't have a bunch of designers trying to tell you what you do. Don't listen to them. Just figure out your own style. And then Hillary deadpan, she said, but I don't have my own style. But she does.
She
I
certainly
think.
does.
But I think on the other hand, this is an extraordinary moment in history. She's going to want to do something and use that platform, whether it's for work, family values. So I think she's going to combine a lot of different First Ladies. They all define it for themselves.
Yeah, Maureen, what kind of influence do you believe she'll have on the White House? Do you think she will turn it into another Camelot?
People in Washington, I think, are dying for something new to happen. And I think that because of the economic times we live in, it might be inappropriate to really be lavish and to suddenly launch a lot of parties. When the Reagans came to town, they had a lot of rich friends who sort of did it for them. Rosalind Carter sewed her own inaugural gown. So I think that Michelle Obama has shown she can wear stuff from H&M. She can do whatever really she wants, but I know that Washington is really awaiting her with open arms.
So Washington likes change then, at least this time.
Because there's just always this infusion. And also, the last two elections weren't decided exactly right away, so it sort of dampened a lot of the enthusiasm. This one is a clean break, the way the Clintons were in 1992, but then they got in a lot of messes right away in the beginning, and so hopefully that won't happen this time. Yeah. And she can lead. And what's better for an image than a puppy?
Oh, a puppy is perfect.
And don't forget what Harry Truman said: if you want a friend in Washington, get a dog.
Well, before I let you go, Maureen, we missed Tim very much around here. No more so than last night. He would have loved it, wouldn't he?
Oh, this would have been the all-time election for him, and he was already gearing up for it. And I thought about him a lot, and people have just continued to be so kind to us. And I thought everybody did a terrific job last night in his honor.
Absolutely, including your son, Luke, who always does a great job for us. Maureen, thank you so much. Doris, as well.
Very well.
And up next, unforgettable images from an election night that belongs to the ages right after this.
Decision 08. The results are in, and today is the clear winner.
Still ahead, much more on Barack Obama's historic win.
The campaign may be over, but the story is just beginning. When politics matter, people turn to today, only on NBC.
November 4th, 2008 was one of the most talked about election days in history. Certainly had its share of memorable moments.
And, you know, we're going to have some more memorable moments. We've got January 20th coming up, the inaugural for Barack Obama. It's always
Let's go.
You think?
Let's go.
Guess what? Clear your schedule. As we go to local news, here's a look back at this election season, courtesy of our friends at Getty Images.
From South Florida's news leader, this is Today in South Florida on NBC 6 HD.
8:27 the time. Good morning. I'm Bob Mayer. We'll begin with a check on the morning commute. Here's Roxanne Vargas.
And we begin with an update here. This rollover injury accident. This is along West Atlantic Boulevard. There's the vehicle right there. This is right at North Power Line Road. Again, expect officials to still be on scene. Westbound traffic moving there on the left side. Eastbound traffic delayed there just a bit. Some onlooker delays as a result. 595 and Pine Island Road. Not too bad westbound or eastbound this morning. We do have a westbound accident, 595 at Davie Road, and southbound 75 right at 95. Look out for that this morning. Southbound 75 rather at the Palmetto, excuse me. 95 at the Golden Glades, not too bad. Heavy southbound volume, of course, normal traffic pattern. A 95 accident at Miami Gardens Drive. That's northbound. Look out for that. That's the latest on your roads. Here's Ryan with your weather.
Just about 8:28, and we are happy to see some sunshine out there. Yes, the cloud cover is still in place, but a lot more sunshine making it through so far this morning. Temperatures have been very comfortable into the mid-60s at this point. 66 Miami, 65 Fort Lauderdale. Down to Homestead we go, 66 there. Also 66 in Kendall, 68 in Marathon. Morning clouds, afternoon sun, highs at 81. Low humidity. It's going to feel real nice out there. Partly cloudy at 81 tomorrow. Isolated showers for Friday and Saturday. Bob?
Thanks for watching. See you in a half hour.
8:30 now on this Wednesday morning, November 5th, 2008, the morning after a historic night in America. We have got quite a group of nice people here. Hope they all got the chance to vote yesterday. And coming up in this half hour, the Democrats didn't just pick up the White House, they also made some pretty big gains on Capitol Hill as well, picking up around 23 seats in the House. What are you doing?
I got my script caught on air.
Oh, you did a great job, by the way.
You know what? Can I say Brian Williams, Tom Brokaw, I mean everyone, David Gregory. I mean, there was a real, and can I say something? A lot of us were talking. I have to say, you know, I was thinking about Tim Russert and what he would want us to do. I was thinking, you know, how he would want us to be clear, especially on this night. And so a compliment means much. Thanks.
It was interesting to watch Luke Russert.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, handling some of the chores last night. It was kind of a nice next step.
Beautiful job. Yeah.
Thanks.
Speaking about last night, as I was saying before, Democrats picked up 23 seats in the House, 5 in the Senate, so it was a big night for them, not just the White House. And in a moment, we're going to catch up with 2 women who will join the Senate come January. Jean Shaheen in New Hampshire and Kay Hagan, who defeated Elizabeth Dole in North Carolina.
And we're going to try and place this event in perspective in terms of American history. 150 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, 45 years after Dr. King shared his dream with a nation struggling with civil rights. What does this mean to the African American community? We'll get some perspective.
And a little bit later on, we're going to look at another section of this electorate, the youth vote. Yeah. What did that mean? They registered in record numbers, and they came out and voted, even more important.
And had a major impact.
Absolutely.
Yes. And you're looking at the first family right there, the new first family with 2 little children and a great sense of style, obviously, from these images. They're going to shake things up in Washington. We're going to take a look at that.
Sure. And the puppy. Can't forget the puppy.
So that means then Barack Obama will be walking the puppy on the White House lawn.
They'll be Scotch guarding all the rugs in the White House, no question.
Another nice day, relatively, here in New York.
That's right. In midsection of the country, a little on the rougher side. Let's take a look. We've got record highs through the Great Lakes, risk of some strong storms, possibility of a tornado or 2 from Oklahoma all the way into the eastern Dakotas. Wet weather, windy weather in the Pacific Northwest, snow showers and blizzard warnings throughout parts of the Black Hills. Tomorrow, that snow moves into the Dakotas. Risk of strong storms in the lower Mississippi River Valley. Wet weather and windy weather continues again through the Northwest. Wet along the southeastern Atlantic. Make that the northeastern Atlantic coast. And we're looking at sunny and warm conditions through the Gulf. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
8:33. Good morning to you. Live look outside. A beautiful start to our morning. A whole lot better, frankly, than it was yesterday. This is the skies basically across Miami-Dade County. We've got more cloud cover inland. We'll thin out the cloud cover and look for a pretty nice day. Your 6-day forecast, well, it gets better as we go, frankly. We'll look for temperatures to stay into the lower 80s. Morning lows into the mid-60s. We need some rain, just a slight chance for some showers Friday and Saturday. And then we round out the weekend with some splendid weather. A weak cold front coming our way, but not expecting big changes right now.
Well, I just got to show this nice lady carrying 2 twins. I mean, you're a multitasker.
Thank you.
What's their names?
Avery and Madeline.
You had to think for a second.
Yes, I know. Which one is which?
Very nice. Hey, by the way, if you want more weather information during the day, Weather Channel on cable and weather.com online.
Ann Curry going door to door back.
That's it. She's working it.
Oh, sorry.
She's working it. Hey, and they brought you a do-rag.
Oh,
A razorback. There you go. There you go.
Oh, you kept it on for like 1 second.
There you go.
When we come back, a Democratic wave heading for Washington. What does it mean for the country? We'll examine that. But first, this is Today on NBC.
There you go.
That's the look.
Tomorrow and Today in South Florida, it's time to get packing.
The economic tailspin has created some unbelievable travel deals. And I'm going to show you where to find them, and fast.
And before you hit the roads, I'll have a complete check on your roadways.
All that and your Weather Plus forecast tomorrow at 5 a.m. We'll see you then.
I love today. 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 Today.
Everyone is talking about the presidential election this morning, but there were plenty of other showdowns on Election Day, 1/3 of the Senate and the entire House of Representatives. And it was a big night again for the Democrats. Lester Holt was watching it all. He's here to sort it out for us. Good morning, Lester.
Good morning, Mary.
So we started last night with 51 Democrats and 49 Republicans in Congress, in the Senate. How does that shake up today?
Democrats had counted 2 independents that caucused with them, which gave them the 51. At the end of the night, Democrats are up 5. They gained 5 seats last night, at least 5. There's some races we're still looking at.
So which states did they flip?
They flipped, the 3 of them we kind of expected. They were open Republican seats in Colorado, New Mexico, and Virginia. These are states that have been increasingly turning blue on the map. And then also important races in New Hampshire and North Carolina that just got out of the Republicans' reach down the stretch with the economy.
Now, everybody had talked about that magic number of 60. That if the Democrats had 60 senators, then they were sort of filibuster free. There couldn't be no filibuster. They didn't get that.
They didn't get that, and we should say that whole notion of 60 filibuster proof. That's assuming that everybody falls in line on an issue, and you've got 60. That rarely happens. There will always be a couple that'll get peeled away. So the 60 was a little bit of a funny number in the first place. But what this does offer them, Democrats, is a chance to get a little more power in committees in the Senate. Right now, they've got a 1-vote margin on most of the committees. Now they can negotiate because they've got this wider margin and maybe get a second vote. So that allows them to perhaps control the agenda.
A little more power in the committee.
Right.
Let's talk about a couple of the key Senate races, beginning with North Carolina. Elizabeth Dole voted out of office, making it the first time since 1952 that we don't have a Dole or a Bush in elected office.
It's an amazing fact, isn't it? It was 53-44. That's one of the races I said that got away from the Republicans. Elizabeth Dole down the stretch had put this TV commercial on that suggested that Kay Hagan was cavorting with atheists. That apparently hurt her. But this race was getting away from her even perhaps before then. But that was one Republicans thought they could defend, but it just slipped away.
And then in New Hampshire, also a unique race, rematch from 2002, and this time Democrat Jeanne Shaheen came out on top. We're going to talk to her in a moment.
For former Governor John Sununu had more money. Jeanne Shaheen benefited from a lot of independent money. It was a hard-fought race. I think it was 4 points that separated them the first time around, but Jeanne Shaheen victorious in New Hampshire. And another state that's been slowly turning blue.
Turning blue. And what about the race in Minnesota? Still too close to call? That's with Al Franken, the former SNL.
Yeah, Al Franken and Norm Coleman. Norm Coleman is ahead right here. Look at the difference. And because of that difference, this is likely going to trigger an automatic recount. So don't expect we're going to get an answer on this one. But Norm Coleman is ahead.
And then also Alaska, I believe, still too close to call. That's Senate veteran Ted Stevens found guilty of violating Senate ethics law.
40 years in the Senate. When that conviction came down, many people thought he was toast, but don't count out 40 years in the Senate. He's still well liked in Alaska. He says, look, I'm still running. He ran. He says he is appealing his conviction. There were a tremendous amount of absentee ballots that went out in Alaska, and that's why that one is so difficult to call. But keep in mind, even if he does prevail, the Senate could expel him if his appeal goes south.
All right, Lester Holt, thanks very much.
All right, Meredith.
And 2 Democrats who knocked off Republican Senate incumbents are State Senator Kay Hagan of North Carolina and Jeanne Shaheen, the former governor of New Hampshire. Ladies, good morning to both of you, and congratulations.
Good morning.
If I could Thank you. You're more than welcome. If I could start with Senator-elect Shaheen. This was, as we said before, you had run against your opponent 6 years ago and lost. What made you think that the timing was right this time around?
You know, it wasn't about the timing. It was about what was happening in the country. I was very concerned about the direction of this country and didn't feel like I could sit by and not try and do something to change, to put us back to creating good jobs again and making this country work for middle-class families.
You know, Senator Sununu's father was the former governor of New Hampshire, said that the tide in this country was moving this country to the left, and his son just couldn't fight that tide. Is that your assessment?
No, I think what we saw was a real desire for change. People know that we've experienced the failed policies of the Bush administration for the last 8 years that have gotten us into an economic mess. And everywhere I went in New Hampshire over this last year, what I heard from people is that they've been struggling and they're worried about their futures and they want to see a change in this country. That's what this election was about.
Senator Hagan, if I could ask you, you defeated Elizabeth Dole in the last few weeks before the election. That ad came out from her campaign that basically painted you as godless. You responded immediately to that. What role do you think that played in your victory?
Well, I think people in North Carolina rejected that sort of negative partisan politics, and that's why we had a wonderful victory.
So they just would not put up with that?
No, they really wanted to elect somebody who's going to go to Washington and affect real change. It's the economy in North Carolina. It's the fact that we've lost so many jobs, the fact that wages are going down and people are worried about the values of their homes. They really want us to put this partisan gridlock behind us, work together to affect real change. You know, we need, whether it's a good idea, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican idea, we have got to come together and move this country forward.
Well, you know, when you look at polls of the American public, as disenchanted as they were with the president, they were also very disenchanted with Congress. So how do you convince them that you can work together, Republicans and Democrats, and get something done?
You know, that's how I've run this campaign. I've been talking to voters all across this state. And, you know, I've got a son that went to Duke, and I've got a daughter at Carolina. I know how to mediate partisan differences, and I'm going to work as hard as possible to affect that in Washington.
And finally, for both of you, I'll start with you, Senator-elect Shaheen. What does this mean to you? I mean, when you put your head on the pillow last night, realizing that you were going to be the next senator from your state, what went through your head?
You know, I am just so honored and humbled by the trust that the people of New Hampshire have placed in me. And I certainly agree with Senator-elect Kay Hagan that what we've got to do is to address the real concerns people are feeling, and we need to do business differently. And I'm excited about the prospect of working with President Barack Obama to move this country in a new direction and make it work again for all those people out there who have been struggling.
And Senator-elect Hagan?
I'm the same way. People in North Carolina want us to work together. And I think the fact that we've got a new president in Barack Obama, I am so looking forward to working with him. And really, we are going to tackle some of the toughest issues, and we need to start immediately.
Yeah, and we wish you both the best of luck. Very difficult times ahead.
Thanks so much, Meredith.
Senator-elect Kay Hagan, Senator-elect Jean Shaheen. Thank you both, and congratulations. Up next, what Barack Obama's victory says about race relations in America. But first, this is Today on NBC.
It was, of course, a night that many African Americans thought they'd never see in their lifetimes. A black man elected as president of the United States. NBC's Ron Allen is in President-elect Barack Obama's hometown of Chicago. Ron, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt. The huge crowd that was here last night to see Barack Obama accept victory was very diverse, a clear indication of how he has brought so many different people together. But at the same time, there was especially a strong feeling of pride and accomplishment in the country's African American community. The women at historically black Spelman College were overcome as they watched Senator Obama become president-elect. Tanisha Dantzler had cast her first vote.
It's my first time voting, and I got to vote for this. And, I mean, it just feels so good.
Powerful emotions made Tiffany Tellis think of ancestors like her great-grandfather, born a slave.
If he could say anything, I think it would say, bless God.
Many African Americans admit they had doubts when Obama began his quest.
I stand before you today to announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America.
But then he seemed destined after becoming the Democratic nominee 45 years to the day of Martin Luther King's dream.
It's an amazing feeling. Words can't express it. Go Barack, is all I have to say. Go Barack, we did it.
Now, celebrations in King's Atlanta church.
I didn't even think I would live to see this day, but I am just so grateful.
And communities like Harlem, front lines in the battle for civil rights.
Watching someone who looks like us ascend to this incredible office is amazing for us.
If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, tonight is your answer.
In Obama's own neighborhood, Chicago's Hyde Park, everyone got all dressed up for the party at his favorite barbershop.
It's first African-American president, but more importantly than that, a president is going to bring change to this country.
Here, where they know the nation's new first family best, the euphoria lasted well into the night. Now, in the days to come, there will be a lot of discussion about what all this means for race relations in America. For example, Obama himself has talked a lot about how people need to accept more personal responsibility. At the same time, he has said that America should be the kind of place where everyone can make it if they try.
Ron Allen in Chicago this morning. Thanks very much. What does Obama's win say about where we are as a nation? Is it a giant leap forward for race relations? Bishop T.D. Jakes leads the Potter's House Church in Dallas, Texas. Michael Eric Dyson is a professor of sociology at Georgetown University. Guys, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Bishop Jakes, good morning, Michael. Do we need to wait to see how this has transformed us? Can we tell on this morning after?
I don't think it is so much the election itself that has transformed us. I think it is the transformation that created the election. It is not so much that him moving into position will move the nation forward, but it is the fact that the nation has moved forward to the point that he is now eligible to move into this position.
Michael, this idea that these young people, and we heard from so many of them in that spot just now, are now going to not have to deal with the spoken or unspoken idea that limits are placed upon them. Do we now have to ask, what are they going to do with that concept?
Of course, but you know, the reality is this is not the beginning of that ideal. There's not a new notion in Black America. There's a new opportunity to apply an old notion. I think the reality is that Black people have always understood they had to be twice as good in an older generation to even compete. So there's no lack of excellence, it's just the opportunity to show that excellence. And I think these young people understand that in America now, hope and possibility kissed, and now America is blushing.
Cynics are going to say, Bishop Jakes, that this was less about America being ready to embrace a new era, especially one that looks like and sounds like Barack Obama, and more about Americans running away from the past and in particular, economic hardship. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think it's a combination. I don't think it really is about race. I think, nor should it be. The race is an incidental, the byproduct of somebody who is intellectual, who's brought forth ideas that are provocative, that have captured the attention of our nation. It's about democracy. It's not really about race. The race is a byproduct of a great man who happens to be a person of color.
And Michael, how transformational will this transformational moment be if the economy does not improve and Barack Obama is not able to make some solid or formidable steps to moving us in the right direction?
Well, the stakes are high, to be sure. There is a double standard. We understand that he's the first. Jackie Robinson or Joe Louis, those pioneers who have brokered acceptance for African-American performance. But the reality is that even if the economy continues to sink and Barack Obama engages these issues in a very serious fashion, I think the efforts he puts forth will be accepted, and I think people will have to understand they can't expect him to be a messiah. He is a political figure who's been elected by an overwhelming, if you will, mission to right what is wrong. And in that sense, just comparatively speaking, what he has done already will be contrasted with what the Bush administration has done. So in that sense, the bar is quite low. What he has to do is to leap forward in a quantum experience by suggesting that race will continue to be a significant factor in America. But as Bishop Jakes said, we can marginalize that by showing excellence. The color of excellence is what we're concerned with here.
And Bishop Jakes, I'll give you the last word. Just taking it down to its most basic form. When's the last time you saw people spilling into the streets after an election with that sort of exuberant enthusiasm?
You know, I've never seen anything quite like it in all of my life. And I think the thing that is really amazing is not so much the support of African Americans, but people of every stripe and color getting behind this. By and large, says something that Americans in general have hope for the future. And it's a welcome hope that we have not seen in quite some time.
Bishop Jakes and Michael Eric Dyson. Guys, thanks very much for joining me this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're back in a moment. This is Today on NBC.
And still ahead, we're going to talk about what the younger generation thinks about Barack Obama's victory.
Think about if you were a first-time voter yesterday and you took part in this. Is it a little bit like on your first swing ever having a golf club in your hand, getting a hole-in-one? I mean, how do you ever have that same experience
Well, most
again?
of us don't know that.
Nor do I. Nor do I. But I mean, it's tough to top the emotion of that.
Yeah, this was the most exciting election, certainly in my lifetime.
And I think it's also, people didn't settle. They whether you were voting for Barack Obama or John McCain, you were engaged.
No question. You were online,
Yeah.
and you were waiting online. There's no question
And
about
that kind of engagement is what we want to keep going.
That's going to be the challenge. We're going to take a look also ahead at Washington, D.C.'s newest first family.
Also take a look at how the internet helped win this race for Obama and may change politics for generations to come.
But first, your local news and weather.
Decision 08. The results are in, and today is the clear winner.
Still ahead, much more on Barack Obama's historic win.
The campaign may be over, but the story is just beginning. When politics matter, people turn to today, only on NBC.
From South Florida's news leader, this is Today in South Florida on NBC6 HD.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Bob Mayer. Amendment 8, the amendment that would have allowed community colleges to acquire more funding via tax, could not muster the 60% vote needed for approval. 43% of voters said yes, but 57% said no, and the amendment goes down to defeat. Community colleges like Miami-Dade and Broward Community College lost big on this one. The lack of a statewide education funding program has forced deep budget cuts for the colleges. College presidents and supporters of the amendment were pushing hard for it because it would have allowed the colleges to reach out to local communities for raising taxes to support their operations. Now for Check in the Morning Commute, here's Roxy Vargas.
Thanks so much, Bob. Here's a live look at 95 and Griffin Road. As you can see, pretty heavy here. This is your northbound commute right before you hop on to 595, if that's your ride this morning. There is an injury accident northbound 95 at East Sample Road. Roadblock there. Also have lanes blocked northbound 95 at Broward Boulevard, so look out for that. Meanwhile, pretty heavy here northbound at 95 at Griffin. Here's the Palmetto crawling along southbound. A northbound accident though on the Turnpike at Coral Reef Drive. And 95 at the Golden Glades. We do have a disabled vehicle there blocking a left shoulder, left HOT lane actually, northbound 95 at 151st Street, so look out for that. That's the latest on your roads. Over to Ryan now with your weather.
Roxy, thank you very much. Nice to see a lot of sunshine out there. Yes, we still have some clouds in place. There's no rain. It's very comfortable, but you know, yesterday we started off with such a thick deck of cloud cover. Now the sunshine wins out, and now we have a great day ahead. Mid-60s out there, most locations. We'll be quickly into the upper 60s here the next few hours, and then into the lower 80s. It's going to be a delightful day with a light north wind. 81 today and tomorrow, keeping it dry and sunny. Bob?
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. See you in less than half an hour.